Now at this point, I believe this video has become a yearly classic on the channel. Between this and NHL Imperialism, you're going to see it every year. I'm going to be resetting the NHL and rebuilding the Utah Mammoth. So we're going to be starting off with the 18th overall pick, and that's not too bad. I'd rather be the Boston Bruins and get the first overall pick, or even the Buffalo Sabres. Actually, I don't want to be the Buffalo Sabres. Even though they're getting the second overall pick, they're still the Buffalo Sabres. They'll find a way to screw it all up. But the Utah Mammoth are going to get the 18th overall pick. Now, normally, I would make the first selection, and I would likely make the second selection as well. However, that's not going to be the case today, but instead, we're bringing back a legend on the channel, a man we haven't heard from in over a year, a man whose Xbox I stole last year to record a video. Clappin' Butts is back, and he's going to be making the first 3 selections for me. So without further ado, let's dive into this. We have the 18th overall pick. Of course, with the first overall pick, Connor McDavid is going to be selected. Oh, he isn't. Quinn Hughes is going to be going first overall over McDavid. McDavid's going to the Buffalo Sabres. I'm sorry to hear that. Cale Makar to the Carolina Hurricanes. Leon Draisaitl to the Ottawa Senators. And then Connor Bedard's going top 5 to the Vegas Golden Knights. Matthews, Eichel, Kaprizov, David Pastrnak, Kucherov are all going to be drafted after him. These were some very interesting selections. Nathan MacKinnon dropped all the way to the 11th overall. That is ridiculous. So there's going to be a lot of great players for Clappin' Butts to draft here. I have a feeling he's not going to draft any of these elite players, and he's going to go very, very off the board. So without further ado, Clappin' Butts, it's time for you to make a selection.
For the first draft pick that I'm choosing, I'm going for a defenseman, Dyson Mayo. Gotta love a name like that. Got the vacuum, got the Sandos. We're ready to go with this pick.
Well, I can confidently say I was not expecting Dyson Mayo to be our first selection, because I was fully convinced Clappin' Butts did not realize that this man existed. Yeah, Dyson Mayo, our first selection. We are going to be passing up on Sidney Crosby, Mitch Marner, William Nylander, Roman Josi. When it comes to goaltenders, we're going to be passing up on the reigning Vezina winner and Connor Hellebuyck for Dyson Mayo. Thanks, Clappin' Butts. I really appreciate this. So here we go, Dyson Mayo. We're going to be selecting a 76 overall with low 70 potential. I could have had 90 overall players, even a ton of 80 overall players, but nope, we got Dyson Mayo, 18th overall, currently on the Columbus Blue Jackets, according to Clappin' Butts. I'm not going to fact check him on that. I'm going to trust him. There's a 50% chance he's right and a 50% chance he's wrong. But Dyson Mayo, this will be the first time in history you're selected in the first round of a fantasy draft. Welcome to the team. I don't want to confirm this selection, but I have to. That's our first pick. Now, Clappin' Butts, I don't think it can get any worse with selection number 2, but I feel like you're going to prove me wrong.
Second pick here is going to be another defenseman. This one's coming from the Devils. I want to pick, can you teach me how to? Dougie Hamilton. Thank you very much.
So we're going to be bringing back-to-back defensemen to the team, but I can't really complain about this selection. Dougie Hamilton is not the worst player out there. He's going to be brought in as an 88 overall. Modified no trade clause. I think the only issue I'm going to have with him is he is 32 years old. But you know what? We can work around that. Dougie Hamilton's being brought to the team. The fact that our second pick is better than our first pick by a significant margin. Like, I'm not talking a little bit, like a massive margin. And now we're bringing Dougie Hamilton to the team. I'll take it. So Clappin' Butts, you've made 2 great selections. I have a feeling we're going to be selecting another defenseman, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he switched it up and brought Stuart Skinner to the team, because based on these selections so far, who knows what he's going to go with.
My last pick of this draft is a little bit of fan service. My girlfriend is a Habs fan, so I had to go with good old Nick Suzuki.
Now, it's actually unfortunate here, but we can't go with Nick Suzuki because instead we took Dougie Hamilton 2 picks earlier. Now, we would have been able to get Nick Suzuki, but instead we decided to take Dyson Mayo in the first round. You hate to see it, you really do. We could have brought Nick Suzuki to the team in the second round, but instead we're going to have to pass up on him. Yeah, it's a tough luck. So Clappin' Butts, you're going to have to name me a new player.
Well, typical of the Habs to be letting me down, letting everybody down. So I'm just going to steer clear of them altogether. They might learn their lesson after that pick. But my new pick is going to be good old Cam Talbot, goalie.
Now, we're not going to be getting a prime Cam Talbot or even one of the top goaltenders in the league, but I'll definitely take him over Dyson Mayo in this selection. I will never forgive Clappin' Butts for giving me Mayo in the first round. But Cam Talbot, the former Edmonton Oiler, Clappin' Butts probably doesn't even know he's a former Edmonton goaltender. I'm very confident he doesn't know that. But Cam Talbot's going to be brought to the team. Just want to point out all these guys we're passing on. Like, look at all of these goaltenders. We are going to say no to all of them so we can bring Cam Talbot to the team team, 38 years old, probably 1 year away from retirement, but we still got to bring him to the team, so that's who we're going with. Now, clapping butts, I cannot thank you enough for these selections right here. Dyson Mayo in the first round, Dougie Hamilton in the second, Cam Talbot in the third. I'm okay with Dougie Hamilton. We won't talk about the first round selection or third round selection though. Now at this point moving forward, I don't really think this team can get any worse. Like, we took Dyson Mayo 18th overall. In what universe in a redraft is that man going 18th overall? So I think we just have to let the CPU build the rest of the team. We're going to trust the CPU here to build me a competent team. But to be fair, are we really going to get a competent team? We took Dyson Mayo 18th overall. And you know what? I'm going to make a rule here. Dyson Mayo has to play at least top 4 minutes in year number 1. So after I let the CPU cook, they're going to be taking Lafreniere, Bo Horvat, Anthony Cirelli, Lev Shinov. We got a handful of great young pieces. We even got the legend in Jet Greaves. I'm happy to bring him to the team. But if you were to ask me, how is this team going to perform in year number 1? Over under is definitely 25 games, and we're 1000% going to be under that. Now, we certainly have an interesting team to build around. Bo Horvat, Ryan Strome, Lafreniere on the top line, Hoglander, Anthony Cirelli, and Bobby Brink on the second line. This team is looking questionable to say the least. Like, we are definitely going to be a bottom 3 team in the entire league, and we're not going to be the second worst or the third worst. We are clearly going to be the worst team in the entire league. Our defense, of course, is going to be led by Dougie Hamilton and Dyson Mayo. I have nothing to say about that. Dyson Mayo was brought to the team 18th overall in this redraft. That is crazy work. And then when it comes to goaltending, 38-year-old Cam Talbot, but luckily we have Jet Greaves as the backup. He's going to be able to hold it down for us. But there are a lot of trades we have to make in year number 1. And which player is not going to be involved in any trade? Well, obviously Dyson Mayo. This man is untradeable. We might even keep him around for the entire video. Who knows? Now, I think right now our team could desperately use a sniper. And Lafreniere, I don't really want to keep you on the team. You're only an 85 overall. You're 23 years old. If I can upgrade to Dylan Guenther by giving up Lafreniere and Ryan Lindgren, I think we're winning this deal. We're also going to be freeing up a little bit of money, so I think that helps as well. Dylan Guenther, are we going to be able to bring you in? They're going to be saying no. Obviously, we're willing to give up some draft picks, just not first round picks. I will give up anything except for first round picks, so I think we're going to be looking at 2 third rounders. Is that enough for Dylan Guenther? They're saying no. How about I turn one of these third rounders into a second? Because our second round picks have quite a bit of value, and considering what prospects we're going to be getting in the second round, I think it makes sense for us to trade them away. Dylan Guenther, welcome to the team. Now we have to continue to upgrade our team because we need a lot of help. Gabe Vilardi, your cap hit 7.5 million, and we actually need to take on a little bit of money just so we can reach the cap floor. Ryan Strome, you're not part of this team's future. You're 32 years old. You're going to age out. Valmaki, I just threw you in because you're one of the defensemen I'm actually okay with trading away. I don't think this is enough for Gabe Vilardi. Actually, no, this isn't enough for Gabe Vilardi. We have to throw in some third round picks. So I'll throw in a third round pick for 2027. I don't think that's quite enough. I'll throw in a fourth rounder as well. Basically, we're going to trade all of our picks that aren't first or second rounders. Actually, I'm willing to trade second round picks. I've already traded one away, so I'm okay with doing that. I just don't want to give up first round picks, especially when we're going to be a terrible team this season. Now, there's a couple of extensions that have to be handed out before we make any more trades. Bobby Brink, I don't want to give you 3.6 million, but considering you're likely going to play second line minutes this season, I guess that's not really that bad. I do want to save 100k, so I'll give you 3.5. Barrett Hayton, there is a chance you play top 6 minutes. Here is 3.7 million for 1 season. We are going to be very bad. Like, I don't think it really matters how many more trades I make. We just have to accept the fact that we are going to be a terrible team. Now, with that being said, we might as well sign a couple free agents. We need to reach the salary cap floor. Tyler Myers, I'll do 2.7 for 1 season. That's going to have you accepting immediately. We could go with Nick Leddy, except I don't hate myself, so we're not going to sign Nick Leddy. Instead, we're going with Nick Seeler. So Nick Seeler, welcome to the team. 1.5 million for 1 year. Yeah, I'm not trading for Nick Leddy. I watched this man enough in St. Louis. I am not trading for Nick Leddy. We are not doing that. And because we have so much cap space, we might as well spend some more money. Nyquist, here's 2.4 for 1 season. That should be enough to have you accept immediately, and that's what's going to be happening. Now, with our final move, we'll bring in Jeff Skinner. We don't have hopes of making the playoffs here, so it's not like this man can prevent us from making the playoffs. 82 overall, 1.8 million. Welcome to the team. Now, it turns out I'm an absolute idiot. We traded left defenseman away, so what did I do? I signed a right defenseman because that's how smart stick on the ice is. So let's go ahead and sign a couple left defensemen. Luckily, all the deals we've been handing out are just 1-year deals, so it's not really going to be hurting us for next season. So Calvin DeHaan, you're going to be the final player we're bringing to the team, and then we are going to lose every game this season. That's the plan. So after the 2 trades that we made, this is what the team's looking like. Honestly, the top 6 doesn't look terrible, and the bottom 6 doesn't look atrocious. The defense is not good. Plain and simple, the defense is not good. Dyson Mayo, of course, you have to play second pairing minutes. Truthfully, I do want to play you on the first pairing. I really want to play Dyson Mayo on the first pairing this season, and you know what? We're doing it for the culture. Dyson Mayo will play first pairing minutes this season. Is that probably the wrong decision? No, it's Dyson Mayo. He is an absolute dog. Dyson Mayo, we're going to ride with you as our first pairing defenseman. With Dyson Mayo playing first pairing minutes, it's Stanley Cup or bust this season. I will not accept anything other than a Stanley Cup with Dyson Mayo as our number 1. I need this man to carry the way for us. What's going to happen in game number 1? We're allowing 5 goals. Okay, we'll just pretend I'm done yapping. All right, I am very surprised with how Utah is performing this season because we are not a bottom 3 team. How on earth are the San Jose Sharks the worst team in the entire league after resetting the NHL? This is a completely different San Jose Sharks team. It's a completely different Chicago Blackhawks team, and it's a completely different Anaheim Ducks team. All 3 of them are in the bottom 5 right now. That is crazy work. When it comes to Utah, 22nd in the entire league, a 30-29-3 record. Dyson Mayo might be him. Like with Dyson Mayo as our number 1 right defenseman, I was not expecting too much this season, but that man is dialed in. Velarde 52 points, Dougie Hamilton 50, Dylan Guenther 49. Truthfully, I wasn't expecting the scoring to be looking elite, but Dyson Mayo has been locked in. He is our number 1 defenseman. How many points does he have this season? 2 goals, 6 assists for 8 points. He has the fewest points on the team. He's minus 26, but we're not worried about those plus minus numbers. Dyson Mayo has that dog in him, and there's a very good chance he probably doesn't come back next season, but I might keep him on the team for the entire video. Dyson Mayo just might become a third pairing defenseman for us. Cam Talbot, 24 wins, 4 shouts, a 908, and a goals against of 3 exactly. Obviously, we're not going to be buying here at the deadline, but we might be selling. And when I say we might be selling, I mean we're 1000% selling. I just don't know who we're going to be getting rid of. Because who on this team realistically is going to have a lot of trade value? I guess we could ship out Barrett Hayton. Yes, we have him under contract for next season, but considering what his trade value looks like right now, I wouldn't be against trading him. And if we were to flip him with Tyler Myers, we actually might be able to get something decent. So here's the trade we're going to make. It's kind of a weird one. Barrett Hayton and Tyler Myers for Casey Mittelstadt and JJ Moser. So we're bringing in Mittelstadt, who I think is going to end up being an upgrade for the top 6. He's going to be a good enough playmaker for us in the future. JJ Moser, I'm going to be honest, I have no clue why I'm bringing you to the team. If they don't accept this, we're likely taking JJ Moser out of the deal, but they're going to be accepting, so that's who we're walking away with. And I think if we're being honest, that's probably the only trade we make here, unless Bo Horvat is willing to be moved. I know he has a no trade right now. I will talk to him about it, because if it is possible for us to trade Bo Horvat, I'd be willing to do so. It looks like it's going to be risky, but I'm still going to ask him. Yeah, Bo Horvat's going to be sticking around for probably the rest of this video. Now, after making the trades we made, things went according to plan. We were terrible. Bottom 5 in the entire league. We're going to be 29th, a 36-42-4 record. This is what we were striving for this season. We were striving for a top 5 pick so we can bring an elite player to the team, because Utah needs an elite player. Gabe Velarde, 68 points. Dougie Hamilton, 62. Dylan Guenther, 61. Bo Horvat, 58. Watch this team somehow make the playoffs next season after I make a lot of great moves over the offseason and I bring in a competent coach, because right now we have a terrible coach and that's what's letting us down. 29 wins, 4 shouts, a 905 and a 317. The Utah Mammoth are in a terrible spot right now. The New York Rangers are Stanley Cup champions, but let's actually take a quick look at the leading scorers in the league, and we have to see what teams they're on. So Nathan McKinnon's going to lead the way for the Columbus Blue Jackets. He's also going to be tied with Leon Draisaitl with 99 points. Draisaitl is now on the Ottawa Senators. Kirill Kaprizov on the Philadelphia Flyers. Sidney Crosby's going to be on the Calgary Flames. Wow, the menus are slow. Marty Necas also on the Philadelphia Flyers. Nikita Kucherov on the St. Louis Blues. This is actually bothering me how slow it's taking to load. Connor McDavid, we knew you were going to be on the Buffalo Sabres. What a surprise, you had 91 points and you were +3, meaning that team was probably an absolute dumpster fire. Nick Suzuki, 90 points. Clayton Keller, 89. And then when it comes to some of these goaltending numbers, Montebolt's going to be our Stanley Cup winning goaltender. He's also going to lead the league in wins with 43. Vamelka, 41 on the Philadelphia Flyers. Jeremy Swayman, 40. Demko's going to be picking up 40 on the Carolina Hurricanes. Swayman's going to be playing for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So definitely some different goaltending tandems we're seeing here. You know what? I'm all for it. And of course, as I mentioned, the New York Rangers are going to be Stanley Cup champions, taking down the Vegas Golden Knights. I do think it's ironic that even with Connor McDavid, the Buffalo Sabres still can't make the playoffs, but are we really surprised at that? Absolutely not. It's the Buffalo Sabres. Connor Bedard is going to lead postseason, scoring 14 goals, 15 assists, 29 points. Chandler Stevenson is going to be second. Victor Arvidsson third. Now, I'm very happy we looked at this. These are some interesting names. Brad Marchand, 10 goals, 10 assists for 20 points in 14 games. Nah, bro was locked in. But you know what? We're not too focused on the postseason. What are we focused on? The draft lottery and us not getting the first overall pick. The Utah Mammoth are going to be dropping from 4 to 6, so we actually might not walk away with a medium elite potential player unless we move up in the draft, and there's a very good chance we do that. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to move from the 6th overall pick up to the 3rd. Olivier is going to be given up in the deal, so we're going to be freeing up about $3 million. We're going to have to give up a lot more in this deal. I shouldn't really say a lot more, because if we throw Bobby Brink in this deal as well, that might be enough to get the 3rd overall pick. They're saying no, they're interested in Bobby Brink. How about we do Bobby Brink in a 2nd round pick? Like, at the end of the day, we're not getting a superstar player with the 36th overall. There's a very good likelihood that that player wouldn't even develop in time. We only have 5 years to turn the Utah Mammoth into Stanley Cup champions, so we got to lock in. So I'm going to send this package over to Pittsburgh. Alright, we actually might have to give up a lot more than I was expecting. Here's a 5th and 6th round pick as well. Hopefully this is going to be enough to move up to the 3rd overall. They're going to be rejecting the deal. Alright, let's make this a little bit cheesy. We're just going to simulate the pick and then trade for the player. One thing I do find very annoying in franchise mode, they make it impossible to trade for the pick. But now I'm going to trade for the player and we're going to get this done very easily. So here is the 6th overall pick in Olivier for the guy that you just drafted 3rd overall. You didn't want to accept this package earlier because you didn't want to trade the pick away, but you'll trade the player away. Make it make sense. Like, I was willing to offer quite a bit and the Penguins said no. Then they drafted that medium elite potential player, and look what we ended up giving up. It doesn't make sense. Now, we're going to be walking away with a really good goaltender. He only played in 2 games last season, but he had a 921 to 250, and he had 1 shutout. He's a 47 overall that has medium elite potential, but the most important thing about this guy, he was a gem. Now, I highly doubt he's going to develop in time, but even still, he could be a good trade asset. Now, it's time for us to re-sign some players, but if I'm being completely honest, there is very few players that we're actually going to be re-signing. JJ Moser, I'll bring you back for $2.8 million. Ideally, you're playing 3rd pairing minutes for me next season because we've improved the defense quite a bit. Skinner, Mantha, Sealer, all of these guys are going to be walking. Dyson Mayo, of course, we have to bring you back to the team. You're going to be a 3rd line stud for us moving forward. I'm giving you 4 years. I'll probably do around $1.8 million. So we're going to be keeping you on the team for the rest of the video. You're a key part of this team. With literally everyone else, I think they're walking. I mean, I'll sign all these guys to 2-way contracts, but all of the older vets we have on this team, there's no point in bringing them back. Now, I almost forgot about this re-signing. This is arguably the 2nd most important outside of Dyson Mayo. Jack Reeves, welcome back. Alright, now this might be a mistake, but I don't think it's going to be. We have to make a big splash. Like, we have to improve this team quite a bit. So we're going to sit down with Jack Eichel. I'm actually going to negotiate for the first time in NHL 26, and I'm going to try to convince this man to join our franchise. So I had a quick negotiation with Jack Eichel. We're looking at $13.9 million for the next 7. Of course, he's getting a full no movement. If we could bring him to the team and he can be our top playmaker, that means Sorelli can move down to the 2nd line, and that would be a great fit for him. And then Casey Millsap will move on from you because I'm not going to need your playmaking abilities on the bottom 6 considering your cap hit. Like, that's just not going to make sense. So Jack Eichel, can you please accept immediately? This is a huge move for us. Now, the next player I'm looking at, Kirill Kaprizov. We do have to free up a little bit of money, but I think we could potentially get that done. So here's what I'm thinking. Casey Milstead and Suter over to the Buffalo Sabres. We bring him McGroarty. He can play some bottom 6 minutes. He's on his entry-level contract. I don't think an extension would really be too much. We can probably bring in a 3rd round pick as well. Once we free up this money, we're going to go throw an absolute bag at Kirill Kaprizov. I guess we can't get the 3rd round pick. That's perfectly fine. We just need to free up cap space. Kirill Kaprizov, what are the odds we can actually bring you to the team? So here is the absolute bag. I have negotiated with Kirill Kaprizov. $17.45 million for the next 6 seasons. I have no clue how we're going to be able to handle this cap hit, but I'm going to offer it over to Kaprizov. He hasn't accepted quite yet, so we're going to have to simulate a couple days. Now, bringing Kaprizov to the team is going to change things for us. If we get this man, there is a good chance that we don't walk away with Kaprizov, but in the event he decides to join the Utah Mammoth, we no longer have to worry about that hypothetical. He is not coming to the Utah Mammoth. He is off to Detroit. Okay, honestly, that might have been the best thing that could have happened for us because we were going to throw way too much money at him. Granted, now that we've simulated a couple days, the free agent pool is not looking the greatest. However, we did get Jack Eichel, so we will take the little victories. Now, Nico Mikkola, I'm a little bit hesitant with this deal. $4.9 million for the next 3 is a little bit much considering you're 30 years old, but it's actually really not that bad. So you know what? We're actually not going to hesitate too much with this deal. $4.9 for the next 3. Nico Mikkola, welcome to the team. I know for a fact you're going to accept that. Maybe not. There is 6 teams that have talked to you. So maybe we're not bringing Niko Mikkola to the team. We do need a couple players for the bottom 6, and Kuzmenko could be one of those players. Here's 3.8 for 1 season. Alex Kerfoot, I think you could be a really good third-line player for me, maybe even a fourth-line player, so here's 2.3 for the next 2. And then Victor Olofsson, I'm going to basically do the exact same thing with you. It's 2.8 for the next 3. But I would like to bring one more player to the team, and you know what? Let's just keep it really simple. Jonathan Toews, welcome. Here's 1.7 for 1 year. All right, great. Niko Mikkola is going to be saying no to join the team. Luckily, Kuzmenko is going to be joining, but we have to go fix the left side defense. Our left side defense is in the absolute trenches right now, and I'm not really too sure how we're going to improve it. We're going to likely have to trade our first round pick away, and I'm not really a fan of that. I guess we also need a goaltender here. We don't have a goalie yet. There's a lot of things this team needs. Now, I might look crazy making this deal, but there's method in the madness. Dougie Hamilton, I'm going to send you over to the Montreal Canadiens. Caden Gooley, 2 second rounders, and a first round picks can be acquired. Now, what we're going to end up doing with the rest of those draft picks is we're now going to flip them and get even more defensemen. We basically have to turn Dougie Hamilton into like 4 elite defensemen. So with one of those second round picks that we got from the Montreal Canadiens, I'm going to flip it with one of our second round picks for 2028. We're going to send that over to the Chicago Blackhawks, and Braden Schneider is going to be brought to the team. So he's likely going to play second pairing minutes, because I think it's about time we play Levshunov on the top pairing. Burrow's going to have to develop. He's going to have to turn into a superstar, and we're going to give him that opportunity next season. All right, so I think Mitch Yukov's going to be the final defenseman we bring to the team. A first and second rounder from Montreal is going to be given up. They're going to be rejecting that deal, but that's perfectly fine. I think I'm going to throw Bobby Brink in this deal, because we're going to have Bobby Brink locked down for the next couple years at $3.5 million. He's now playing bottom 6 minutes. I don't really want to pay him $3.5 to play bottom 6 minutes for me. They're rejecting that as well. We have more draft picks we can throw in. Truthfully, I'm okay with trading almost everything away. I'm almost even willing to give up a first round pick for next season that's ours, and I think that's going to be the case. Utah's first round pick is going to be traded away, and it has quite a bit of value. I'll throw in a second rounder as well. This might be enough for Mint Yukov. If it isn't, we'll throw more into the deal, and that's going to be the case. Bobby Brink, you're being shipped out. Like at this point, I'm willing to do almost anything to get this deal done. A first round pick, a second, and Bobby Brink from Mint Yukov. Now all we have to do is get a goalie, because we still don't have one of those. Now I just learned something very interesting, and this would have been good to know a long time ago, because I would have gotten rid of this player. Why on earth is Tristan Jarry on our team? I did not realize we've been paying Tristan Jarry $5.3 million. So yeah, how about we don't do that? We're going to ship him out. We're giving up Montreal's first round pick as well. Joseph Wall and 2 second rounders are being brought back. Obviously, we're not going to get 2 second rounders. I would like to get 1 second rounder. Yeah, that's not happening either. How about multiple thirds? I guess we can't get multiple thirds because they don't own that, but how about a third and fourth round pick? Is that enough for Wall? They're saying no. I'll take out the fourth rounder. So we're freeing up money in this deal. We're getting our goaltender. We're just about set. Now, we've made a lot of moves here, but there's still a couple things we have to do. Contract extensions. Levshunov, I will definitely do $4.6 million. I think that's an incredible deal, but how about we save some money? Here's $4.5. I'm all about saving $100K. Levshunov's accepting immediately. And outside of him, the only other guy we're looking at is McGroarty. Why does he always ask for $18 billion? Every single time I talk to McGroarty, he's asking for $4 or $5 million, and he's only an 81 overall. You haven't earned it yet. You've done absolutely nothing to be asking for that much money. I don't get it. Like literally every time I bring McGroarty to the team, I end up trading him after 1 season because he's like, oh, I want $17 million. Well, how many points did you have last season, McGroarty? Oh, I had 7. And I want $17 million. Like, it makes no sense. All right, so we have to fully embrace the fact that we are going to be a good team moving forward. We're about to trade our first round pick for this season. We've already traded the 2028 first round pick away. We've traded our second rounders for the next 2 seasons. I don't think we have a third rounder for this upcoming season. We basically are going to have no draft picks moving forward. I'm giving up Pittsburgh's third round pick in order to get Capo Caco. I'm giving up another third round pick in order to get Capo Caco. So we have traded our first rounders, second rounders, and third rounders for the next 2 seasons. We better be good. Now, a lot of things happened over the offseason. We brought Jack Eichel to the team. We traded Dougie Hamilton away, and Cam Talbot didn't return to the team. So 2 of the 3 players that Clapp and Butts brought to the team are no longer here, but we kept the most important one. Dyson Mayo is still here. He is a 78 overall. He will play third pairing minutes for the rest of this video. He is going to be a key part of this team. Without our man Dyson Mayo, we're likely not going to see any success. We have great goaltending. We have pretty solid defense. We have an elite forward core. I think this team's ready for the playoffs. Last season, we were one of the worst teams in the entire league. We're flipping the script this time. Last season, we were bottom 5. This season, we're going to be top 5. Now, unfortunately, right now, we're not going to be looking at top 5 in the entire league, but that's okay because we're top 10 in the entire league. A 34, 21, and 6 record. The offense isn't quite good enough, but we do have one of the best defenses in the league, only allowing 2.9 goals. That's going to be the 6th best defense in the league. The only thing we can't do right now is score goals, but you know what? We're going to address address that problem, I think we're going to make a trade, add another sniper to the team because that's what we need. On the second line, we're lacking a sniper, and that's really the only thing holding this team back. Jack Eichel, Dylan Guenther, Velarde, you guys are an amazing first line. Our second line's laying me down a little bit. Bo Horvat, you're -6. Sorelli, you're +4. Capo Caco, you're -1. Realistically, if we do want to make a trade, I think it's moving Bo Horvat. Oh, Joseph Woll can't stop a beach ball. That doesn't help us. 27 wins, an 897 and a 303. Jet Greaves, maybe you should be the starter. Like, this man is 7-1 with a shutout, a 944 and a 167. Yeah, Joseph Woll, definitely not holding up your end of the bargain here. We're not going to worry about that because if we improve the offense a little bit, we're going to be unstoppable. I'm going to talk to Bo Horvat about a trade because I really want to get rid of him. Not because he's a bad player, but we need goal scoring, and if we could trade him away, we can probably get an elite goal scorer. Is he willing to waive his no trade? Of course not. So Bo Horvat will be sticking with the team. Capo Caco's trade value has gone up a little bit here, so maybe we could package him up with something else and get an elite sniper. I don't know who we would package him up with. Probably Brady Martin. And maybe that's the move. Alright, so I kind of changed my mind a little bit with the trade, and I think this one makes a bit more sense. McGroarty and Brady Martin sent over to the Washington Capitals. We bring in Patrick Laine. McGroarty's going to be asking for $18 million. We're not going to be able to bring him back. I think we're all well aware of this. So I think bringing in Patrick Laine makes a little bit more sense. We move Capo Caco down to the bottom 6. I think this is a great upgrade for us. Laine is going to bring some scoring to the team. Although he hasn't scored a lot of goals right now, he's taken a lot of shots. And once we put him on the second line, he's going to score some goals. Now, Utah is not playing around. 8th in the entire league, a 44, 29, and 9 record, 3.22 goals per game. So the offense did improve. 2.94. I think our defense got worse, so maybe that trade-off wasn't worth it. We brought in Patrick Laine to score some more goals, but we're allowing more goals. Did this man just have 3 goals after we traded for him? He had 3 goals and 11 assists for 14 points. Okay, I'm moving you down to the third line. How on earth did that happen? Goaltending numbers from Joseph Woll, I don't care about any of this. We're changing the lineups heading into the postseason. We have the St. Louis Blues in the first round. You know what? We're not changing the lineup. Patrick Laine, I brought you here to score goals. It's time for you to start scoring. Like, I'm going to keep it a $150 with you. You could go the entire season without scoring a goal. Like, you could score 0 goals in all 82 games, but if you score a goal per game in the postseason, then I'll forgive you. We're winning the first 2 games against St. Louis. That kind of makes a lot of sense. We're probably going to sweep the St. Louis Blues because they're my favorite franchise, and why on earth would that team ever show up in NHL 26? So that's a quick sweep over the St. Louis Blues. We're just going to pretend they didn't beat the St. Louis Blues of all teams. Why does this always happen? Why do they always disrespect my St. Louis Blues? If I had $1 for every time the St. Louis Blues were disrespected in an NHL game, I would be a billionaire, maybe even a trillionaire, because it happens far too much. Are we down 3-1 the series? No, we aren't. We split the series with the Minnesota Wild. We're moving into game number 5, and we're going to be shut out in that one. Game 6 is a big one. I need the entire team to show up. And when I say I need the entire team to show up, I'm talking about Patrick Laine. I brought you here to score goals. It's time to score goals. Dylan Guenther's picking up the first goal of the game. Lev Shanov's going to be picking up the second, so it's all about defense heading into the third period. Mikheyev might be picking up a shorthanded goal, but we have game 7. We're forcing game 7 because of that elite defense. Joseph Woll has definitely been stepping up in these past couple games, but I need him to step up one more time. This game 7 is going to be the most important game of Utah's existence. Travis Sanheim's going to be picking up the first goal of the game. We're responding in the second period. It's Bo Horvat. It's Gabe Velarde. So now it comes down to the third period. Who's going to show up when it matters? Well, we're going to keep on picking up goals. And who's going to score one of the most important ones? Of course, it's Patrick Laine. The boys are dialed. The team is really showing up here in year number 2. We've advanced to the conference finals. And who do we get to take on next? The Vegas Golden Knights. Now, the Vegas Golden Knights are certainly a great team. Like, we can't question them whatsoever. But we are rolling. We're sweeping the Vegas Golden Knights. We are 12-3 so far in the postseason. It all comes down to this. The Boston Bruins are up next. This Utah team has been on a different run right now. We cannot be stopped. A 3-1 series lead against the Boston Bruins. We have to win one more game to close it out. Yeah, that is why you don't move Patrick Laine from the second line. You win Stanley Cups. The Utah Mammoth in year number 2 with Dyson Mayo on the team. I just have to bring that up. Dyson Mayo was playing big time minutes, and because of that, we're Stanley Cup champs. Okay, I'm sorry. Ain't no way this man Patrick Laine only scored 3 goals. He had 3 goals, 10 assists for 13 points. Who cares? I don't care if this man couldn't put the puck in the back of the net. We won a Stanley Cup in year number 2. Dylan Guenther had 15 goals. We still have 3 more years left in the rebuild, so we could potentially four-peat with the Utah Mammoth and Dyson Mayo. Dyson Mayo, what numbers did you put up in the postseason? You had 4 goals. 4 goals from Dyson Mayo. He shot 26.7%. This man was an absolute dog. Put respect on Dyson Mayo's name. He is really that guy. And then when it comes to Joseph Woll's numbers, 16 wins, 3 shouts, a 933 and a 196. I don't know what happened between the regular season and now, but this man stepped it up big time. His numbers looked atrocious during the regular season, but he just posted a 933 and a 196. We're running it back with Joseph Woll. Patrik Laine, I don't care if you don't score goals with this franchise, because if we're going to win Stanley Cups without you scoring goals, I think it was worth that move. Now, after the success we saw in the postseason, I don't think it's too much of a surprise we're not going to be winning a ton in the draft. We had 2 picks. They were in the 6th round, they were in the 7th round. Did we really expect to get a superstar? Absolutely not. And I would also say don't expect anything crazy for the 2028 draft, because we'll probably have even less picks than we did this season. Okay, I'm a little bit surprised at this, but we have $17 million to work with. I was not expecting us to have $17 million. So I think we're just going to let all of these guys walk, because we'll probably be able to get some really good free agents. Like, we could probably sign 2 guys for $8 million each, and then we'll be ready to roll. I guess we do have to re-sign Jet Greaves, and we also have Sebastian Cossa on the team. So yeah, we have 2 elite goaltenders that can be backups for us. Jet Greaves, here's $900K for the next 2 seasons, and Sebastian Cossa, I'm probably going to do the exact same with you. You want $800K for the next 2? That's perfectly fine with me. Alright, so as of right now, the cap situation for this team is amazing. Like, these are the players that we have to re-sign. We shouldn't have to spend too much money here. When it comes to Kaapo Kakko, I think he's going to be one of the most expensive players. He's looking for $4.2 million. I think we could probably do 3.8. We actually might be able to do less than that. I'm willing to give him a no trade clause, or at least a modified no trade clause. I can probably do 50% team protection, but let's get that down to 3.5 million. I feel like this is a pretty reasonable contract. How about we make it a no movement alongside a no trade? What does that look like at 50%? Still not quite enough. Let's get that up to 3.7 million, and I think that'll be enough to bring Kaapo Kakko back to the team. If you're going to play bottom 6 minutes at 3.7 million, I have no issues with that, especially if you're an 84 overall. Niels Höglander, he's looking for a 1-year extension. We could probably do that. How about I do 2.8 though? 2.8 is definitely not enough money for him, so we might just do $3 million for 1 season. Höglander, welcome back to the team at basically your exact same cap hit. Kerfoot, I'm going to let you walk. I can find a replacement. JJ Moser, I think I'm going to let you walk as well because I can find a replacement. Granted, if we can do 2.9 million, I'd love to bring you back to the team. Yeah, JJ Moser's 100% returning. And then, of course, the most important person to bring back to the team, Joseph Woll. You earned this contract. $5 million for the next 4 years. This is a no-brainer. Now, we have 2 options. We can either sign multiple players around an 86, 87 overall, or we can throw an absolute bag at Alexander Ovechkin and bring him to the team. I think we know what the correct answer is. Alexander Ovechkin, $16 million for 1 season. Welcome to the team. I'm really hoping you accept that. That is really the only contract we have to wait on. Ovi, I want to bring you to the Utah Mammoth. You'd be an incredible player. So Alexander Ovechkin is going to be joining the team. There's no way we don't go back-to-back now. Now, last season, I didn't have the highest expectations. Then we went ahead and won a Stanley Cup, so now expectations are incredibly high for the Utah Mammoth. Not only do we have to win a Stanley Cup this season, but we have to win one next season, and then the season after that. We have to 4-peat to finish this video out. Is that realistic? Of course not. Dyson Mayo, you're up to a 78 overall. You're playing really good minutes for me. You now have top 6D potential. Bro's developing. He's turning into a great defenseman. Things are looking amazing. Joseph Woll, you're an 85 overall. You know what you have to do this season. Suck during the regular season and then turn to a prime Marty Brodeur in the postseason. Alright, now I certainly wasn't prepared for us to be a top 3 team considering we only have a 35, 18, and 11 record. But one thing that would be nice is winning some 3-on-3 hockey games. We have one of the better offenses in the NHL. We have one of the best defenses. But the reason that we're not first in the entire league is because we can't win 3-on-3. 11 overtime losses at the trade deadlines actually ridiculous. Jack Eichel, 76 points so far. He's dominating. Ovi, he's dominating. Velarde, dominating. Bo Horvat, you're playing 3rd line minutes for me. Honestly, you're not looking terrible. Mitnyukov, 45 points. Levchnov, 44. Höglander, 41. What is wrong with the 2nd line right now? This ain't it. Why do all of you guys have terrible plus minuses? That doesn't make sense to me. Patrik Laine, unfortunately, I'm going to have to move you down to the 3rd line. Sorelli, you're either going to play left wing or right wing to finish out the season. And then Dylan Gunther, you're going to play whatever wing Sorelli isn't on. Bo Horvat's playing 2nd line minutes again. Patrik Laine is moving down. Kaapo Kakko, I'm probably going to move you over to the left wing. We're going to run some very questionable line combinations for the rest of this season, but we have to do that. Joseph Woll, 26 wins, 4 shouts, a 909, a 290. I don't care if you're losing games in overtime because those are 3-on-3 losses. As long as you're not losing games in regulation, I'm going to be happy. But I don't think I'm going to make any trades with this team. I'm just going to change the line combinations. We have a lot of amazing players here. We just have to change things up slightly. So the Utah Mammoth are going to have a strong finish to the season. They're still third in the entire league. They're losing games in overtime, but that's fine. Losing games 3-on-3 is perfectly fine because once you get to the postseason, it's 5-on-5 hockey. Jack Eichel, Alexander Ovechkin, Velarde are holding it down. Dylan Guenther and Cirelli are already having better seasons after adding Bo Horvat to the line. Yes, he's -2, but we're not going to worry about that. These guys are going to figure it out once the postseason comes around. And when it comes to goaltending, Joseph Woll, you're going to step up again for me. I don't care what the regular season numbers look like. Once the postseason comes around, this guy's going to carry us to a Stanley Cup. We have the Chicago Blackhawks in the first round. Chicago's not right for us. Like, I don't care what the Utah Mammoth do during the regular season. Last postseason, we saw every player on this team step up, and I'm expecting all of that to happen again. In the big time moments, the Utah Mammoth are going to stand tall, and they're going to win you hockey games. And so far, that's exactly what they're doing. They almost swept the Chicago Blackhawks. Unfortunately, they're going to be shut out in game number 4, but that's fine because we'll just win game number 5 and move on to the second round. As of right now, the Utah Mammoth are something special. This team just finds a way to win games in the postseason. We're moving on to the second round, and now we're going to have the Colorado Avalanche. I don't care what universe you're in, what year it is, the Colorado Avalanche can be a pretty solid team, but I don't think they're good enough. We won the first 3 games. We're looking to close out in game number 5. We're moving on to the conference finals once again. We're 8-2 so far in the postseason. This team refuses to lose. We now have the Vegas Golden Knights in front of us. Vegas is looking to get their revenge, but we're not going to allow them to get their revenge. We have a 3-1 series lead. We're going to be 12-3 entering the Stanley Cup final, and we have to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Utah Mammoth are just built different. Like, simple enough, this team refuses to lose. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Stanley Cup final. Are we going to be able to take them down? Well, we have a 3-1 series lead once again, closing it out in game number 5. It doesn't look like it. We're finally going to lose a game in game 5, but in our first game 6 appearance, we're going to close this one out. Okay, we're off to game 7 in the Stanley Cup final to the Toronto Maple Leafs. We are not blowing a 3-1 series lead to the Toronto Maple Leafs. We are going to figure it out in game 7. Let's lock in. We're picking up the first 2 goals of the game. Moving into the second, Max Domi is going to be responding. I need an elite third period. Offensively, defensively, everything needs to be elite moving into the third period. And in the third period, we weren't elite offensively, but we were incredible defensively. The Utah Mammoth are going back-to-back, and Dyson Mayo is now a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. Maybe Clapping Butts was onto something. I can't believe this man gave us Dyson Mayo with our very first selection, and in year number 3 we've gone back-to-back. How on earth has this happened? Jack Eichel 30 points, Ovi 25, Bo Horvat 21. Dyson Mayo, what'd you do this season? What'd you do in this postseason run? You didn't even record a single point and you were -4. We're still Stanley Cup champions. Joseph Woll, your numbers weren't nearly as good. 15 wins, a .911 save percentage, and a .276 goals against, but who cares if the numbers weren't good enough? Because we're Stanley Cup champions once again. Dyson Mayo has now won back-to-back Stanley Cups. The Utah Mammoth have won back-to-back Stanley Cups. We're looking to win 2 more to finish this video off. How on earth is this team dominating? It doesn't make sense. Now at this point moving forward, I don't care about draft picks. We will trade every draft pick we have in order to finish this video off with a 4-peat. Because right now the boys are rolling. Nobody can stop us, and I still haven't figured out how. Like, just for a little bit of context, we have $19.5 million in cap space. So I think we're going to bring back Alexander Ovechkin on a 1-year deal. Like, there is no reason we can't bring this man back. I don't really want to pay him over $11 million though. Could we do 10.5? We might be able to lock Ovi down for $10.5 million. So that's going to leave us with $9 million. And then with that $9 million, we'll get an upgrade to the bottom 6 and we're good to go. So Kerfoot, you're going to be leaving the team. Paul Lewinsky, I guess I can give you $800K for the next 2 years, and I'll sign these 2 rookies. Outside of these re-signings, we're not going to have to do anything big to this team. We've won back-to-back Stanley Cups. Let's go win a third. Now we have a couple players that we have to re-sign. Mint Yukov, Braden Schneider. I am not worried about these extensions. I know for a fact we can bring you guys back to the team. Mint Yukov wants $14 million. That's fine. We have $34 million in extension dollars. We can make this happen. And I'm probably going to give you a no movement as well so we can get this cap hit down a little bit more. We're going to be bringing everyone back at reasonable cap hits. So Mint Yukov, here's $12 million for the next 7 seasons. That's going to leave us with $24 million. And we really shouldn't have to spend a bunch of money. Like Braden Schneider, we can probably do $7.9 million or something. I'll actually do $7.5 million and then give you a no movement. Like if you want a no trade, I might as well just give you a no movement, and we might be able to do 7 million. Okay, 7 million might be a little bit greedy for me, so how about we do 7.3 million for 1 season? He's going to be accepting immediately. Our young medium elite potential player in Gene, we can bring him back for the next 2 years. I'm looking for around 4.3 million. I guess we'll actually do 4.4. Actually, let's make that 4.5. I want to make sure he comes back to the team. I'll just give him what he's asking for. Now, after re-signing Gene, we have $10 million to work with here. So we're going to bring one player onto the team, and it's a player for the bottom 6. Who do we want to bring in? There's a handful of really good options. Ideally, we're going to sign somebody who's looking for a 1-year deal, and that player could be Evander Kane. However, instead of bringing Evander Kane to the team, do we just go for 2 players who are 84 overalls? Like, we can bring in Ryan O'Reilly. I think what we do is bring in a guy like Ryan O'Reilly for 4.9 million, and then find another 84 overall. And who could that 84 overall be? Brock Nelson. So Brock Nelson, welcome to the team as well. Here's 4.9 million. We got 2 great players that are going to help us for 1 season. We're going for the 3-peat now. Now I'm going to try my hardest to run the exact same team for the final 2 seasons. Like, I don't want to touch this top 6. I want to keep the bottom 6 basically the exact same. Obviously, Ryan O'Reilly and Brock Nelson won't be back for next season. But if we keep 90% of this team the same, then we're going to be in an incredible spot. Dyson Mayo, 78 overall. After I go for 5-on-5 focused, he might be up to a 79 overall. If we can get this man to an 80 overall by year number 5, that might be one of the greatest accomplishments on the channel. Now, it's kind of crazy how things have gone, but I think after this video, after we've won back-to-back Stanley Cups, and of course we're going to win another 2, Dyson Mayo might end up being a top 5 stick on the ice legend in history. Like, this man has really done something I wasn't expecting. Also, we're going right to the end of the season. We've won back-to-back Stanley Cups with this team. Why would we change anything? Now, although we finished with a better record this season, we're only going to be 5th in the entire league, but we're cracking the 50 win mark this season. 3.49 goals per game, 3.11 allowed, which isn't the best in the entire league, but we know what's going to happen in the postseason. Joseph Woll is going to show up for us. The entire team throughout the entire lineup is going to show up. I don't care that the second line looks atrocious. Dylan Gunther, why on earth are you minus 29? It doesn't matter. We're going to find a way to make it work. Joseph Woll, I don't care if you have an 889 and a 322. Watch us win a Stanley Cup with those numbers. I don't know how this team has seen so much success. I don't know why they stepped up in the postseason, but we're about to do it again. Like, realistically, by almost every metric, we should not be a good team. You look at those second line numbers, you look at the goals against and the save percentage, we should not be winning games. And you know what? We're actually going to drop game number 1. That doesn't happen often. We're dropping game number 2 as well. Are the boys finally falling apart after winning back-to-back Stanley Cups? We're down 3-1 in the series after winning game number 4. We avoided the sweep, but can we make the big time comeback? Well, we've won 2 games in a row. This team knows how to build on momentum. We're looking to win 3 games in a row, and then we're going to close it out in game number 7, but we can't do that because we're losing game number 6 5-3. After winning back-to-back Stanley Cups, we're finally going to be collapsing. No, it's a tough day. It is certainly a tough day for the Utah Mammoth. They were looking to 3-peat this season and then 4-peat to finish off the video. Unfortunately, that's not going to be happening, but there's nothing stopping us from winning 3 Stanley Cups in a 5-year period. I'd be okay with that. Now, but in reality, this just breaks my heart. Losing in the first round, the San Jose Sharks going to be Stanley Cup champions. That should have been the Utah Mammoth, and we all know it should have been the Utah Mammoth. I don't know what went wrong this season. I mean, yes, I do. The goaltending wasn't as great. Our offense wasn't as great. We just went on 2 really fluky runs, and we thought we could continue with that. We thought we could build on the Mickey Mouse runs we went on, but unfortunately, that's just not going to be the case. Joseph Woll, an 875 and a 434. I think reality is finally set in for this team. Granted, we have won 2 Stanley Cups in the past 3 years, so do we really want to completely change this team? I don't think so. I think we stick with the majority of what we have here. Like, we've won 2 Stanley Cups over the last 3 years. Let's not hit the panic button. Okay, this is a game changer. I was originally going to go with this player right here. However, there's a high elite potential goaltender. We're drafting the high elite potential goaltender because we can trade him for a lot of assets. We're now going to trade for the Ducks' first round pick. I don't know who we're going to give up in this deal, but we're going to give up somebody, and honestly, that player might be Patrick Laine. He's kind of been letting me down in this video. He hasn't really performed the last couple years. He was minus 20. Patrick Laine, we're going to move you out. We're going to trade you over to the Anaheim Ducks. We're getting the 27th overall pick. I'm really surprised that we have to give up more considering Patrick Laine has a higher trade value. I'll give you the 90th overall pick as well. That's definitely going to be enough. Okay, these boys are bugging. This is enough for the 27th overall pick. Okay, we are going to trade Patrick Laine to a different team. Who is interested in Patrick Laine? The Calgary Flames are. Give me a future second and third round pick. They're going to be saying yes. Now we're going to go to Anaheim and I'm going to give you those picks. So you want a future second rounder and a third round pick. What are the odds that these two assets right here can get us the 27th overall? We're pretty close in trade value. I might have to include a 7th round pick. And I think that's going to be the case. So I'll throw in the 218th overall pick. Is that enough? Okay, they're getting really greedy right now. Here is a 6th round pick as well. I just need you to accept this deal. Cool. So the Ducks are going to be accepting, but the real question is, are we going to get a medium league potential player? I have my doubts with this selection, and you know what? It wasn't worth all that work. Medium top 6. You know what? It would have been worth all the work if we did get a medium league potential player, but that's just the way she goes. Now, we're not quite done with this draft because outside of getting that highly potential goaltender, we're now getting a mediumly potential goaltender. So we're going to have $18 million in cap space heading into the final season. Ovi, I think we bring you back to the team. You've been one of the best players on this team. I think we have to keep you here. So Alexander Ovechkin is going to be returning for another season. We're going to be looking at $10 million for the next 2 years. I think that's an incredible deal for Ovi. That's going to leave us with $8 million to work with, and we can fill out the bottom 6 with $8 million for sure. But when it comes to that $8 million, I'm not going to spend any of it on these 4 players right here. Instead, we're going to make some trades. I guess we do need to re-sign Jet Greaves. He's looking for $1.7 million, and of course, Jet Greaves is going to get that. So I think for the final season, we probably should rebuild the second line. Like, our second line has not performed the past couple years, so let's completely change things up. And Anisimov, I'm going to bring you to the team because you've been one of the best goal scorers in the NHL. You had 42 goals last season. You were minus 17, but I don't care about you being minus 17 because I'm going to build an elite second line that you're going to play on. We're also going to bring a draft pick back in this deal. I think we should be able to get a second rounder. Dylan Guenther, you've been an amazing player for me, but I feel like Anisimov just can be better for this final season. Like, it's been a while since Dylan Guenther was an elite player for me. The past 2 seasons, he has not been that guy. We can't even get a 3rd round pick in this deal unless we throw in a 7th, but here's a 7th round pick. So we're going to get this one done. Anisimov and a 3rd round pick's being acquired, but we're still not done because it's time for us to get rid of Bo Horvat. Now, I think the simplest way for us to trade Bo Horvat is just to use Trade Finder. I don't want to take any money back in this deal, so I think this Carolina trade makes the most sense. We get a medium top 6 potential player and a 3rd round pick. We're going to flip those assets because what I'm going to do next is trade our 1st round pick for 2030 and Hoffman, the highly potential goaltender. We're bringing in Aho, mediumly potential 85 overall. Luis Aho to be specific. It's not Sebastian Aho or even the other Sebastian Aho. We have Luis Aho. He's going to be brought in. He's going to be a big time player for us. He's going to lead this team to greatness. We're going to add him to the second line. He's going to play alongside Anisimov and Cirelli. These guys are going to see a lot of success. I'll throw in a medium top 6 potential player, and I'm hoping this is going to be enough. I know we're not fitting your trade block, but that doesn't matter because if I give you enough assets, you're going to eventually accept. So here's the 3rd round pick from the Calgary Flames. I believe this is enough. Nashville is going to be accepting, but we still have $18 million in cap space. So that means we can go sign a big time free agent. And who is that big time free agent going to be? Well, I'm not too sure. It needs to be somebody looking to sign a 1-year deal. And as of right now, I can't see anyone willing to sign a 1-year deal. I mean, Will Cooley is. And I'd be okay with bringing Will Cooley to the team. So let's do $5.5 million with Will Cooley. That should be enough to convince him to come to the team. John Tavares, we can bring you in for the bottom 6, so here's $3.8 million. Now, my final signing was going to be Niko Mikkola, but we're actually not going to do that considering he wants a 3-year deal. Adam Pelech, I can do this though. We can do $6.5 million. I'll actually make that 6.4 for 1 season. He's going to be joining, and then we might even go with Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins, I'll bring you to the team as well. We're going to have an incredible team. For the final year, we're going to be winning a Stanley Cup because nobody's going to stop us. Now, normally, I'd be mad at Will Cooley for not accepting my offer, but you know what? He had an opportunity to go to the St. Louis Blues, and why wouldn't you want to do that? Okay, so I might have gotten a little bit out of hand with the moves I made. Like, I was throwing money at absolutely everybody. Probably shouldn't have done that, but you know what? We're going to work around it. I'm going to trade our mediumly potential goaltender and a 6th round pick over to the Montreal Canadiens. Riley Heights can be brought in. I need him to play some 4th line minutes for me. Now we have to make one more trade. Jordan Dumais, I'm going to bring you in. I need you to play 4th line minutes as well. I completely forgot to sign enough players for our 4th line, so right now we're rocking 70 overalls. That can't be the case. Jordan Dumais, I need you to play some good minutes for this team. Here's a 3rd round pick for Carolina. I don't care if I'm overpaying. We're going to win a Stanley Cup, so it's going to be worth it. Also, Dyson Mayo is 1 1000% being called up, that man's not finishing the final year in the AHL. That can't happen. Now, we went ahead and reset the NHL, and with the 18th overall pick, Dyson Mayo was brought to the team. We were not expected to do a lot in this video, but somehow in the first 4 years, we've won 2 Stanley Cups, both of them coming back to back, and now we are rocking this team right here for the final season. Dyson Mayo, you deserve one more Stanley Cup, and I'm going to get you that Stanley Cup today. Dyson Mayo will go down as one of the greatest stick-on-the-ice legends in channel history. I don't know how he accomplished the feats that he did, but you know what? I'm here for it. Now, our final season is going to be the best season once we win a Stanley Cup. A 59-19-4 record. We were scoring over 4 goals per game and only allowing 2.43. So not only do we have the best offense in the entire league, we also have the best defense. Alexander Ovechkin is also casually picking up 65 goals this season because that's what he does. Sorelli, 79 points. Anisimov, 69 points, and that's going to include the 44 big time goals he had. Aho's picking up 25 goals and 57 points. Look at the plus minus numbers. Everyone on this team is looking absolutely elite. Capo Caco, you were the only player who had a negative plus minus. Why are you letting me down like that? Dyson Mayo was plus 18 this season because he is an absolute dog, and we will never question Dyson Mayo. And then when it comes to goaltending, Joseph Woll, 49 wins, 8 shouts, a 923 and a 222. It's time for us to dive into the final postseason run. Can we walk away with one more Stanley Cup after resetting the NHL? And can Dyson Mayo win another Stanley Cup? We have to cap off his incredible career. When Clap and Butts told us at the beginning of this video that we had to go with Dyson Mayo, I had my questions about that selection. Like, we took that man 18th overall, but you know what? Since then, we've been able to win 2 Stanley Cups, and we're looking to win a third. We split the series with the Calgary Flames through the first 2 games. Moving into game number 3, we're dropping that one as well. We cannot go out like this. Luckily, we're going to respond in game 4, but I need a big game 5 victory. It's a best of 3 moving on. Can we steal game number 5? Yes, we can. So let's close out in game 6, because the last thing I want to do in round number 1 is go to game 7, and we don't have to worry about that. We're going to be moving on. We gained past the Calgary Flames in 6 games. We're off to a great start. But we have to see if that great start is going to continue moving into the second round. We now have the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm going to need the offense to take a step up. I need the goaltending to take a step up. I need everything to step up on this team, and that is not happening so far. We've dropped back-to-back games. It's going to be 3 losses in a row. Yes, it is. We are down 3-1 in the series, but if any team was going to make a comeback, it's going to be the Utah Mammoth. So let's just take this one game at a time. We're going to be picking up 2 goals in the first period, but so is Chicago. Moving into the second, we're picking up 3 unanswered. I think we have this game in the bag, and that's going to be the case. We're winning this game 7-3, and we're moving on to game number 6. If I said game 6 funny, it's because I just bit my tongue, and I'm not too happy about that. But we have to move on. We have to build on this momentum. My tongue really hurts right now, but that's beside the point. We're picking up 2 goals in the first period. We're scoring another goal in the second. We are dominating this game right now. We are dominating this series if we win game 7. If we lose game 7, we didn't really dominate the series, but we've won back-to-back games. We are outscoring them 12-3 in the past 2. They can't stop us right now. The offense is rolling. The defense is rolling. Everything about this team is looking elite, but it all comes down to one game, and that game is going to be game 7. Tim Stutzel's picking up 2 goals. We're down 3-1 after the first period. This is not a good sign. We're still trailing by 2 goals entering the third. I need an elite third period from the Utah Mammoth. I know this team can score goals, and we're about to score some goals here. We really didn't score a goal in the third period. Like, I was expecting us to score 1, and then Chicago scores 1, and we lose this game by 2. But when I asked this offense to step up, we didn't even score a single goal in the third period. After dominating the past 2 games, we're going to be falling in the second round. This is a heartbreaking finish for the Utah Mammoth and our king, Dyson Mayo. Now, that was certainly a heartbreaking finish. The New York Rangers are going to go on to win the Stanley Cup, taking down the Chicago Blackhawks in a sweep. That should have been Utah in the Stanley Cup final, except we would have beat the New York Rangers. We wouldn't have gone out like that. Alexander Ovechkin, you gave me everything you had. 12 goals and 7 assists for 19 points. Levshunov, 17 points. Who let us down? Because right now, looking at these numbers, I think our top 6 was really good, so it must have been the bottom 6, but we really don't have that many players with a negative plus minus. At the end of the day, 2 goals decided game 7, and that's how we're going to go out. When it comes to Joseph Woll's numbers, he had a great save percentage. He was just allowing way too many goals. Like, I'll definitely take a 9-10 any day of the week. I will not take a 305 though. So we went ahead and reset the NHL, and in a matter of just 5 seasons, we were able to take home 2 Stanley Cups. And we did all of that after selecting this man with the 18th overall pick in the reset, Dyson Mayo. 79 overall Dyson Mayo was brought to the team. There was incredibly low expectations after that selection, but you know what? We worked with what we had. And out of the 3 players that Clapp and Butt selected, we got rid of Cam Talbot after season number 1. We traded Dougie Hamilton away after season number 1, but we couldn't turn our backs on the king and Dyson Mayo, so we kept him around. And what did we do when we kept him around? Well, we won back-to-back Stanley Cups, 2 in a 5-year period. I'll certainly call that a success.